2, 1. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am just so honored to introduce my next guest today. His name is Unisa Kamara. Listen to his background. He was born in Africa, moved to America around the age of 9, and then about 6 years ago, he moved to the UK. He's the former CEO and founder of Blackline Entertainment. Tragically, he witnessed friends had been shot himself a couple of times, and experienced the trauma of losing his girlfriend in his arms. Just that alone would make someone the process of healing. But not only has he suffered, he wanted to open up and start his own business, Kamara Homes, helping people, right, find affordable homes, which in this day and age is nearly impossible, even when you earn income. After losing his dad, unable to see him or say goodbye on his deathbed, unable to attend his funeral, he sunk into a major depression, which I'm sure a lot of us during the pandemic have experienced, or we know someone, right, who could not attend the hospital, could not visit. Like when my mom was in a care home, she has Alzheimer's. There was a period of time, not to be able to see and hug your loved one is hard. So he decided to make a major transition, transforming, and this is my journey to transforming thoughts to positive ones, moved his wife and daughter, picked up, and now he's in the UK. Currently has 2 TV shows, has done radio shows, podcasts, completed his first movie, and he's a motivational and inspirational speaker, and his mission is to change lives. Unisa, thank you so much for this opportunity. I would just love to hear a little bit about your story, but how did you even find this journey? I know you were saying that sometimes the journey finds us, but sometimes the journey that we're led to can be so overwhelming that we wonder, should we pursue it? I mean, you just dove right in and said, this is what I want to do.
Well,
how did that even happen?
Karen, first of all, let me say thank you for having me on your show, on your platform. It's a pleasure to be here. The thing about our journey in life depends on the decisions we make. Now, we're going to face a lot of obstacles. And again, we have to stay focused. When I first lost my girlfriend, who was shot in the head, and I was shot in the neck, on my collarbone, and also my hip, I literally had to carry her into the hospital. That's when I decided that, I needed to create a business, because I did not want to be in that workforce, become like a hamster in a wheel. You get up in the morning, you go to work, you do the norm. So I created my first business, which was Blackline Entertainment. Now, the funny thing about this, Karen, that business started from a $1 bet.
What?
It started from a $1 bet, which indeed, and we made so much money out of it. My cousin, my best friend, my brother, I told him one day, I said, I need to create a business. He said, what kind of business are you going to make? I was like, I'm going to create a business. I don't know yet, but I will. He said, I bet you cannot create a business without spending money. I said, yeah, I can do it. Now, one thing about me, before I open my mouth, I try to do the thought process. So I kind of evaluated the whole community, what was needed. And back in those days, after work, everybody wanted to party, relax. So I said, why don't we, because I was normally having parties on the weekend, why don't I start charging? Everybody want to come to Unisa's party. Now, have in mind, I have a $1 bet. I'm not to spend my money, so I'm already having parties anyway, so why don't I start charging? Now, normally, wherever the females go, the guys follow.
Yes.
So the females who come free, and the guys had to pay. and they were coming. So a night I was making almost 200 pounds or dollars or so. That was what, in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of good money.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I need to step this up a little bit more. So I started doing parties in different neighborhoods and people were coming. I'm not spending my money yet. So I decided that now I needed to create Blackline Entertainment. Wu-Tang, we all grew up together. So Method Man will be like, yo, man, I'll go on stage for you. I'll do this for you. I said, you do that? He said, yeah. So we had our first event, which indeed turned out so good. I did not expect the kind of revenue that came in. I said, wow, okay, I'm going to build me a studio. So what I did is I got 3 cell phones, Karen. 3 cell phones, 3 beepers, 3 business cards, and I had somebody different leaving a voicemail on all of them. And I was carrying every single one. I was my own PA.
Oh my gosh.
I was my CEO. I was everything. So when I would talk to someone, I said, have you ever heard of Blackline Entertainment? They said, no. I'm like, they got some good artists. You need to attend one of their parties. Why don't you call the CEO and see if you can get a pass or something, get a discount for VIP? Yeah, I would do that. Started having people coming in. I started going to Hot 97, the hottest station in New York. Now,
oh my gosh.
First, when I went there, they told me you have to pay as you weigh. I'm Unisa. I need to pay. No, it's not happening. So now what I was do was I started going around the community because I have artists that were making music. DMX made a song about me, literally having a go at me. So I used that to my advantage. So when I called Hot 97, I said, listen, I need to come to the radio. They said, no. I said, you sure? I said, yeah. So I had everybody calling in. I had Method Man go to Hot 97 because he was there on the regular to talk about me. Next thing, Hot 97 calls me.
Called you.
Yeah. I was like, hello. It was like, hey, Unisa. I was like, who's this? I knew it was Hot 97. It's like, listen, man, we want you to come to the station. We want to have an interview. I said, I'm busy. So I thought about it. K. Slay and I, we like 2 dogs having to go at each other all the time. And he's the one that told me you will never come up here. So I told Hot 97, I said, listen, I want K. Slay to call me and apologize and invite me.
Oh my gosh.
Took a week or so. I got the call. Now, at this time, I have people working for me, everything. So, hey, I think I'm Mr. Big Man now. K. Slay calls me. As soon as I knew it was him, I put it on the speaker. I was like, hello. He said, what's going on? I was like, man, you don't call me like that. I said, you don't call me like that. Who's this? He's like, man, you know who this is. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Who's this? He said, you Slay. I was like, okay, what's going on? How can I help you? Man, I want you to come to the radio, so we can do an interview. I was like, excuse me? Didn't you say I got to pay as I weigh? I'm busy, man. He's like, man, listen, man, just do me a favor. I asked you for a favor before. You turned me down. Well, whatever the conversation was, I ended up going up there. So I started my first business out of a $1 bet. And also when I speak to entrepreneurs, I like to expand on that because there's nothing that is impossible. Impossible means I am possible.
Oh, that's a good one.
You understand? So it depends on your mindset. If you have the right mindset and you focus, you strategize, you can execute it. Don't just jump into a river, lake, or whatever it is without knowing the depths of it. Understand what you're about to get into. You understand? Plan out a strategy before you jump in. And if you fail, Karen, it's okay to fail. Just tell yourself, you know what? I made a mistake along the way. Let me re-strategize and go back in. You know, they say the rich, do you know where the richest place is?
The richest place?
The rich.
Oh, the richest. Dubai? I don't know. It's one of the vacation places of the
No, the
Where?
graveyard. The graveyard.
Oh.
A lot of people die with that $1 million dream.
Yes.
Without ever executing it. Why? Because of the naysayers and because they did not have the proper mindset. Because they failed once or twice, they give up on that dream. If you want something, look at it as your baby. You have to nourish, cherish it. You understand? And there's nothing that one cannot do. We will face obstacles, but again, it's all on you. So after that, I started seeing drugs coming into my business, you know, and the guns, that's not what I want around me. My girlfriend just died from a bullet to the head, which indeed put me in a place where I don't want no one to be into. And me being shot, I was like, no, I can't do this. First, I used to have this dispute with the artists coming in, you know, with the weapons or their friends holding the weapons. So I finally got fed up. I took my load of trouble. I gave it to my little brother. Here you go. You have a business now. It's still my business, but you're in charge. So growing up, I've seen a lot of kids killed on the streets coming from school, innocent bystanders, because Jack over here don't like Bobby over there, so they decide to shoot at each other. These little kids happen to be passing by, and there we go with the tragedy. So we decided to start buying properties. You know, we buy them, we put them back in the market. But if we buy about maybe 3 or 4 properties, one of those properties will go to a family that is living in those projects, you know. So, and what I will tell them is no credit check needed, no down deposit. You understand? What you pay in here is what I want you to pay me. And for some odd reason, I always love the number 10. So I tell them, you pay me the rent for 10 years and this is your home. In a neighborhood where your child can go to school safely, you understand? The schools are not saturated with all these bad people, gangs or whatever have you. And your child can go into the park and play, and you can sit comfortably, read a book or whatever you choose to do and feel safe. So that was how I started my entrepreneurship.
Wow. So I would love to hear advice that you have for parents who have these challenges. Maybe their kids are oppositional, probably not as oppositional as the kids that you've, been working with, but it's frustrating as parents because we think, we need to get through the kids. We need to raise, right, responsible, respectful, resilient kids. But when you have this frustration where kids don't listen and then your tempers flare and then there's arguments, you're a dad yourself, right? How old is your daughter?
She's 13 going on 50.
Ooh, you're in that wonderful teenage year stage. So perfect. You are living it. what do you tell parents who are in your shoes with these turbulent teen years? How do we survive? I mean, I'm shocked that I survived. I have a 19 and 25-year-old, two daughters, and it
Wow.
comes with its own challenges, right? I'm realizing no matter how old they are, you talk to grandmas, and then they're like, "Yeah, my kid's 47 now. I have, it's like different issues. Maybe you don't agree with the way that your child is raising your grandchild, or as humans, we will always disagree. But what do you as a motivational speaker, as someone who's a dad himself, how do you handle these teen years? And she's a girl, probably what's ahead when she falls in love, when she goes through all this wonderful stuff that we call life. What do you do?
Well, as you can see, I'm bald-headed, Karen. Well, first of all, one thing I want to tell all the parents is there's no book on how to be a good parent. All we can do is try. You understand? If you feel as though you're upset with your child, take a breather. Just as you need that little space, that child needs space as well. You cannot be screaming and the child is upset and the child is going to retaliate. That's not going to lead into a conversation. One thing I also do, couple counseling, and one thing I say is that here's the pillow, you hold the pillow, you talk. Now, here's a pillow, you hold the pillow, you talk. You understand? I have to find the root of the problem and vice versa. So as a parent, if you notice that your child is upset, you cannot communicate. Remember, they are going through the essence of growth. They are trying to find the sense of directions. They are confused, they're vulnerable. Give them time. If they want to go into their room and lock the door, let them. Just give them that space. When they want to talk, render your ear. You understand? Try to be supportive and try to be understanding, because once upon a time, you were a teenager as well. And you knew what you were going through. And you always say, my parents don't understand.
Right.
And I was talking to someone, I said, our children, there comes a point where they think they know everything. And if they cannot communicate with us, they will go outside and go to one of their friends that think they know everything. Now, what do you have when you have Dumb and Dumber, leading each other?
Right.
Mayhem. So always try to be a friend first, but there should be, also that line, you understand? But give that time to build that relationship. Don't be the first one to start screaming, because where is it going to take you? Find that time to communicate with your child. And if that child sees that they can come to you and you are understanding without screaming at them or telling them how bad the friend is, there's a way to resolve all that. And the best way is to communicate where you both understand each other.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. But what happens when you're in the middle? When you're in the middle, I'm a parent coach, and then I realized, wow, I just failed. But, like you said, we are in progress, forgive yourself and just know we're human. But, when those buttons are pushed, I think is it just awareness, when you just have to, okay, I need to take a breather rather than respond when someone's disrespectful. Or I had a parent whose son punched a hole in the wall. When something happens, she said it's so hard to like walk away when you're, your kid's like kicking at the wall and the neighbors are complaining, or you just don't know, right? You're fearing if you walk away, what happens if there's another hole in the wall, or how do you diffuse anger?
But what are you going to do? If a child has anger, we need to, dissect the problem. Where is this anger coming from? Why are they retaliating? Why are they acting like this? They need a way to vent.
Yes.
If punching a hole in the wall is going to calm them down, at that moment, let them do it. What are you going to do? Start screaming at them? Eventually, God forbid, if it's that type of youth, they will turn on you. So there are many ways to look at a situation. If he's upset, ask him what's wrong. If he don't want to talk, give him that space. I believe in giving space. Let him vent, and at a later time, just go to him, say, do you want to talk? Do you want to eat? Try to find a way where that youth can open up to you. But if a youth is agitated and you try to get in the midst of it, remember, sometimes we can get to a point where we blank out. We don't know our actions. You understand? So I don't want to expand too much on it, but if a youth is having an issue, find a way to calm that youth. And if you feel as though you need to walk away and have someone else intercede, that will be better. Your partner can intercede, a sibling. But if no one can talk to that youth at that moment in time, let it be. It will calm down. And one thing they're going to get to a point is, the word is, I hate you. I hate myself.
That's what happened. She said, yeah, it was just so hard to hear, I hate you. I wish I had another mom. You're ugly, whatever it is. But when you're in pain, you will lash out painful words because you're hurting. But as a mom, it's hard, right, not to take it personally.
But I think also, as a mom, I say as a mom, we. As a parent, we have to understand, even as an adult, Karen, if I start having a go at you right now, it's not because of you. You understand? It's because of what I'm going through.
Yes.
You understand? I'm just trying to take that toxic out of me, and I will lash out on anyone that comes in my circumference. So we need to understand, even when you go to work, you will have a coworker that is having a bad day and that will try to push that negative energy onto you. Do not acknowledge it. If you're having an emotion, a happy moment, enjoy that moment. If you're having a bad moment, deal with that moment. And if a child is having a moment, let them go through the phase. Let them acknowledge it, deal with it, and if you know this is an ongoing situation, acknowledge the triggers, okay? They reacted as so-and-so because of this happened. And it went from 0 to 20 in within a few seconds.
Yes.
You understand? Acknowledge that. And also teach your children to do, free writing, because when they write down things, nobody can read it. They don't have to worry about the grammar. They don't have to worry about the, anything, the spelling. Let them just write. So that way they can always go back and reflect on it as to, this is what happened to me. This is why it happened. It's always good to write down things. If you don't have someone to talk to, write. And I always encourage my youths. So what did you write yesterday? Or my daughter loved to write. Daddy, I wrote a story about you. Or Mommy, I'm afraid to read it. No, you cannot read it, Daddy. You said I can write. So I'm writing. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my gosh. So do you have people who don't like to write? See, as an educator, they don't like to write, but I've been saying, okay, write for 5 minutes. I'm not going to read it. Spelling and grammar doesn't count, just to get them to write. But so many of them, after one sentence.
Expressive writing.
Yes. Expressive writing, so that it's just, and that's why I say, how you feel, because in the beginning, it's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I got mad. I don't know. And then when they start writing, it's slowly, right? They slowly come out of it. And sometimes they share, but at least like what you said, they share in writing. But I'm going to try that, where I'm not going to read it, just write. Because knowing that you're not going to read it probably will help them open up more. Yeah. Right?
It's called, expressive writing, and I enjoy it. First, I used to see people, I'm going to write in my diary. I'm like, oh boy, here goes the nonsense. I
was one of those diary writers.
It's excellent. Now that I'm going in depth with this, I do understand the basis of it. Back then I'll be like, oh, go write in your diary. But now I have a planner. Write it down, Unisa. What happened today? And also one thing I plan is that, you know, the brain is the funniest, you know, let me say machine that we have. If we utilize it properly, you write something before you go to bed. This is what I need to accomplish tomorrow. When you're fresh in the morning, you understand, your brain is still reminiscing on that. And I always tell people, intrigue yourself, tickle your brain, ask
Oh,
yourself
I love
questions
that.
that you
Tickle
know,
your brain.
ask yourself questions that you don't normally ask yourself. So
Wow.
I love my youths. I love my parents when they come to me, and I have my team. I surround myself with psychologists. So sometimes when I think I'm going cuckoo, I'm like, oh.
You have your resources.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, though, don't you think? Surrounding yourself with positive resources. And if we teach that, is that what you teach your youth? Because if you surround yourself with negative people, you're not going to have a healthy outcome. And then you wonder, why does this happen to me? Or why, you know, and you think you're suffering and you think it's a destiny. Don't you think some people feel, nah, nothing good can happen because
Of my surrounding.
Yeah. And, or as I attract bad luck, or yeah, I never pass a test, or, you know, they don't believe that they have it in them to even have success or happiness, or maybe safety. Nowadays it's safety, right? A lot of kids, they're going back to school, you know, right now in Hawaii, everyone's going back to school full time. I'm realizing that social distancing sometimes cannot happen because you have over 2,000 people at the high school. How can you possibly, you know? So you must deal with a lot of kids who feel unsafe. Do they express it, or how do you deal with that when it's a physical safety issue?
First, I love to read. So I've read up the laws of attraction, the vibrations of the universe.
Yes.
I believe that our words are very strong. And if you keep repeating something, the mind will believe like, oh yeah, I'm no good. You know, oh, people don't like me. Oh, I'm going to fail the test. But if you believe in yourself, you understand, and you have, let me say, you as a teacher, you have your student that you know they're smart, but they don't have that confidence because I know I'm going to fail anyway. Why am I putting effort? And sometimes it can surprise you as well. So, you know, it's just a coin toss, but I tell my youth, because we build resilience and all that, we try to make our youth become the pillars of their communities, you know, and like you said, if you surround yourself with that negativity, you will blend into that negativity. But if you have the right mindset of that positive aspect, I can achieve this. You know, I'm meant for greatness. Do not say because of my environment, I'm a product of my, you know, environment. What does that mean? Explain that to me. Well, look at everybody that live in my neighborhood. You know, they never get out. No, because that's what you're thinking. I know some millionaires that got out of the projects and that are doing big things. It's up to you. What do you want? Where do you see yourself? What are your goals? Why don't you write down your goals for me? Why don't you tell me how, after they write down the goals, wow, this is excellent. Acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Let's just say, this is brilliant. This is phenomenal. Now, how do you see you achieving these goals? Don't tell me. Write it down. Because when you write, it's like an imprint.
Yes.
And then when you verbalize it again to me, you understand, it's becoming more. So I tell them, write it down for me. Don't hide anything from me. I want you to tell me step by step how you're going to execute this. Because what they're doing is planning it, you understand, planning it properly. Then I want them to execute. Even though if it's not ready, I'll give them the chance to go over it again. Because we go through 3 phases: the beginning, the middle, and the end. So when you're writing, I don't want you to think I'm observing you or the team is watching you. We give you that space. And it's okay for you to sit there and ponder for like, what do I do? It's good to think. So I'm
Yes.
okay, let them ponder, give them time, don't rush them. And that's also building that comfortability with self. That's bringing self-awareness. So by you challenging them, you understand? And they say they're more hard on themselves than we are actually hard on them.
Yeah.
So if you give them the chance to say, okay, what do you think, this outcome should be? Because you failed the last time, and that's a cause you cannot afford to fail. So what do you think will happen if you continue to go down this roller coaster? Explain to me how you see this playing out. I never come up with the solutions, Karen. I let them tell me.
That's a good one. That's a good one, because a lot of parents say, if you don't study, you're going to end up like not getting a job, or you're going to end up homeless. I had a student tell me that. My mom said that if I don't get a good grade, I'm going to end up homeless. He was 8. And that's what's hard on me, because when they're told things, by a parent, or maybe a teacher, an aunt, right? A frustrated teacher says, you know what? Don't even bother. You weren't paying attention. And then, they feel that they are a loser. And it could just be, I had a 5-year-old, little story here. Yeah. He says, I said, did your teacher say anything? And he goes, no, she just did this. She didn't need to say any words. So he just started 1st grade, and he said, Grandma, guess what? My teacher doesn't say, and I thought, and it could have just been frustration from the teacher, but that student internalizes it. And for the student to love his teacher, all because, she doesn't give that frustrated sigh. She's so happy, really shows him that, wow, I'm so lucky to have you in my class, that kind of energy. So it sounds like that's what you do, that you really empower them by not telling the answers. I think when there's a pause and I'm waiting, because I'm on the clock, I wait and wait. And I do admit that sometimes it's hard, and I just guide them. Okay, it's in that paragraph. Okay, it's in that sentence. It's in that, because you're right. The waiting is hard, because I think I'm starting to tell myself I don't have to finish the entire worksheet, whatever I do. But the most important thing is what you said. Let them sit with it, right?
You see, the thing is, kids are quite emotional, which adults as well, but we have to understand the transition that they're going through. Kids are very observant. If they feel as though you are someone who have likeness to them, who have respect for them, who acknowledges them, they're more liable to come to you when they're in need.
Yes.
But if they feel as though they don't connect with you, 9 out of 10, as a teacher, you're going to fail, because that child is not going to want to come to your class. That child is going to feel as though you don't appreciate them or acknowledge them. So it's all about how we come across. One thing, I feel like I'm a 90-year-old man who, because sometimes I have my days where I say, listen, guys, I know we are supposed to be ordering food today. Let's have some ice cream. And, and some of them be like, Mr. Kamara, we're too old for ice cream. And the way they look at me, but when the ice cream comes.
Oh, yes. Who does not like ice cream? And that's what I was taught. It's like, we're going to have a test today. And then you tell the class, everyone has an A. Guess what? There is no test. And, it was one of my classes that I took, and we thought, what? But it's the element of surprise and making them feel that, wow, it's like their birthday. So exactly. the seminar that we were at, they said, don't come tomorrow, do something fun. And we thought, really, we don't come tomorrow? So all of us were, wait, really? We don't, that's our lesson, not to come. And that's what the instructor said, because I want to teach you how to help your kids. I mean, that talk about emotional connection. I love this instructor, this trainer, because usually it's like, oh, another 8 hours, one of those 4-day workshops. And to be told that don't come the next day and have fun. We were just, wait a minute, wait, what? So sometimes I do that. I was going to give you 10 questions. Why don't we just do 3, just to get them really, but that's like the ice cream. Element of surprise and like dessert first. I'm sure everyone's like, wait a minute, what? But as an adult, I was just seeing someone who said, you know how to ground yourself? And she got some crayons, got a notebook and said, I want you to take time to draw and color. And as an adult, you think, I don't have time for that. I have my to-do list and but 5 minutes of doing something childlike, don't you think, whether it's ice cream or doing something,
the thing is that it's back to self-awareness.
Yes.
Always put yourself, if you're dealing with a youth or an adult, put yourself in their shoes for a minute. Know who you are and try to think, I wonder what this person is going through. And also Lexi, the reason why I like Lexi is because he does encouragement letters, which they tickle the brain for so many people.
Oh my gosh. And 1,000 of them that he waited, like years to share. And I think now it is going global. And don't you love how his goal is to have 1 billion letters written? He said he wanted to raise the bar high. And that's like your thing. It's like you have to write down what you want and just let your brain do the rest, right? And let your lack of confidence or your uncertainty, put it aside. I love what you just said, like write it before you go to bed, what you want. And then the next morning, that machine is still going when we're asleep.
Because, I feel as though the mind, if we don't intrigue it, what good is it? What good is it?
Oh, that's a good quote. You're coming up with a lot of quotes.
When I had Lexi on my show, which indeed I'm going to bring him back, like I wanted to really get into him from a psychological aspect, but he was too comfortable, like too laid back. I said, if I have a go at this guy, he's going to run away from me. So let me wait.
Well, he's so funny too, right? And he'll turn a serious conversation into a joke or laugh.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let him have that bit of comfortability now, because we have about 7,000 viewers or so. So I'm like, let me give him time. Let the people digest him. But we got a lot of positive feedback off from, and one of the person that responded to the show said, I tried to give someone an encouragement letter. The person looked at me and threw it back at me.
You know what? He told me to do that. And I had a major anxiety attack. I went to Walmart and said, I took my daughters, I am going to do this. I'm like, you're going to give it to a stranger? So we were hoping for the friendly lady in the front. She wasn't there. And so I said, I'm going to do this. And so when they were at the cash register, I went up to the girl who checks your receipt as you leave Walmart. And I said, hi. And of course, I have to explain myself, can I give you this encouragement letter? And then I had to just explain. I just went to I just did a workshop and my goal is to give someone a letter of encouragement. And she was like, sure. And I just thought I took the most scariest test of all because and Alexi prepares you. They could say no, they could ignore you, they could throw it back and be prepared for that. But part of me was deathly afraid of like rejection. And what you're saying is like, you're smiling. It's like, you know what? Just keep trying because you could reach that one person whose life you save or one person who needed to read.
Karen, I love the word no.
I was reading someone said their goal is, I'm going to see how many no's I get.
Yeah, that's me. I love no. Because
did you hear Alexi's story? Alexi's story about how do you guys know he's going to go up to his friend and say, can I put my hand in your back pocket? And the guy, and you know what he said? The guy goes, yeah, sure. And he's like, Alexi's like, okay, I need to.
That's to you. I never heard that.
Because he knew, I'm sure I'm going to get the no. And so when his friend said, you're weird. Okay, go ahead. Put your hand in my back pocket. He failed at his attempt to get no. How's that one?
Because he's just, I don't know, he's just a go happy guy. I love the guy.
He is.
Yeah, but me, when he tells me no, he tells me, okay, I'll see you again at the next round. And I just keep striving because you cannot let someone, put you down. When I started Kamara Homes, Karen, I remember I was in a bad neighborhood. Now, in London, they say they don't have guns, they have knives. And this kid's got this big machete that you think they're going to cut a sugar cane down with one chop. They put that in their pants. Now imagine pulling that and just putting that through somebody's chest or thing. So I had a lot of mayhem. It's just a lot of negativity going on around that neighborhood. And a week before I was to go there, I heard someone got shot. Wait, they have no guns in London. Yeah, but these kids literally go to, over here, they don't call it Kmart. London don't have Kmart. They go to the shops, buy the BB guns, create a gun. They're very intelligent. So
they're modifying a BB gun.
Them. Precisely. So it's like when I heard that, I was like, okay. So when I went to the neighborhood, remember my son just got killed. So I'm trying to find a way where I can support the youth. I'm in contact with the mayor. I'm in contact with so many professionals. This is what I want to do. I have a lunch date. I've contacted the TV stations. We are going to make this happen. Now, I'm around this neighborhood, and I went into a shop where they sell clothing, trainers, and all that. It's like Foot Locker, but, the other version of it. I asked this gentleman. He had a nice dreads, older guy with the gray beard. I'm thinking he's going to support my cause because he's been through it. So I said, is it okay if I put my flyers here and put one on your window? He said, what is that? I said, well, we're trying to save our children. They're killing themselves. They're going in and out of jail. We want to support them. He looked at me and said, you're wasting your time. He said, don't even bother, man. So why don't you invest your time by shopping here? I said, in case I buy something from here, can I put a flyer on your door? He said, you're wasting your time, man. These kids are not going to change. You see the frame of mind he was on? I looked at him again. I said, it's okay. I do understand. And I refuse to take no. I said, okay, so let me get that and let me get that. So now I get to put 2 flyers on your window. You say, you're quite, you're quite a character, aren't you? That's the word he used on me. I was like, I'm quite a character. I was like, okay, I'll take that. Can I put 2 flyers on your window now? Remember, whatever you said, I'm going to just take it in and I'm still going to go back on my journey because I'm not going to let you deter me. You understand? I have an objective and I'm going to stay on my path. I purchased, I bought a jersey and I think I bought the shorts to it. I don't know why I bought them, Karen. Don't ask me. I know they did not fit me. I just wanted to buy something to show this guy that I believe in these kids that you look down on. You understand?
Wow.
I put the flyers on there. I walked out the shop and I just happened to bump into my new best friend. This kid looked like he's been selling drugs from the day he came out of his mother's womb. So I said, hey, what's going on, man? I said, this is what he did. I said, okay. That's how I go.
That's how you connect.
we connected. Okay, so I gave him, I said, listen, I just came out of this shop and I think this might fit you actually. He looked at me and said, what's that? I'm like, a jersey, man. So he was like, why would you want to give it to me? I said, why wouldn't I want to give it to you? I said, it don't fit me. I have the receipt. I didn't steal it. So he was looking at me like, you're a weird one, aren't you? But for some reason, we stood there, we had a conversation. And he was the one that started helping me get the youths.
Wow.
He's the one that started taking me where to go get the venue to support the youths. When COVID hit, I got to know him a little bit more. He was selling so he can support his single mom that had a baby at home. So when COVID hit, my team, I still have my receipts. That's a funny thing. I don't know why I'm keeping them because the government's not giving me no money. I've not asked for money. Everything we do, it's teamwork. My team was going around the neighborhood, giving food. Knock on your door, tell you the food is there, and we sit outside when you take the food in, you know, with the little note, please clean the food before you take them out the bag, and so forth. So his mom was really struggling. And I made sure I was going there on a consistent base, you know, just to check up on them. And he's such a good kid. And when I told you somebody got stabbed, it was him.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was trying to leave the gang. And one night he was walking, they seen where he was going. That's how they got to him.
Did he survive?
He's still fighting it.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is that, you know, when I lost my son, I had so much anger towards the youths because it was another youth that killed my son. But it's when you get to know them, you know, that's why they say, don't judge, give them a chance. They're vulnerable, they're confused. They're trying to look for their place in society. Maybe they don't have someone to talk to. You know, maybe just say, do you want food? Because he's wearing a hoodie all the time. Maybe that's all he has. Maybe he only has 3 of them at home. Maybe he has to go home and wash that one, hang it up, and in the morning he wears it again. Mm-hmm. But whenever you see him, you're judging him. Oh, look at that bad boy. He can be doing so good in school, but when he comes home around his community, he's looked down on. So why are we so, you know, so hooked on judging our children, labeling them? Karen, if I see you on the streets and I'm doing something bad and you just stop and say, hey, Unisa, can you help me? I'll look at you like you're weird. Now, I can look at it in 3 ways. You understand? But along our journey, let's just say walking, you start talking to me, show me that respect, acknowledgement, and so forth. Whenever I see you, I'll put a smile and say, watch, guys, she's going to come ask me to help her. Now, even though you're just doing it to get me away, but we are building that rapport, you know, and I'm having that respect for you. If I'm doing something bad, I see you coming, guess what I would do? I would stop. Mm-hmm. Because why? She has respect for me. She acknowledges me as a human being, and I have respect for her. Even if I'm smoking or drinking, whatever I'm doing, I see you coming. So imagine if we have 10 people like that take time to acknowledge that youth standing on that block. it's quite sad what's going on in society because we say we're so busy, but who are we living this world to? Who's going to support the next generation? If we don't empower them now, how are they going to empower the next generation?
Right.
I'm quite passionate when it comes to my kids. I call them all my kids.
Oh, yes. I mean, my students become my kids too. Would you mind? I didn't know the story about your son. Would you mind before we end sharing it? Was that a pivotal moment where you decided, I know it was your girlfriend too, but was your son also inspiration for you to start making an impact on youth?
Right. You see, I don't believe in uncles and aunties. I believe in daddies and mommies because that builds the family stronger, the bond. So our children in our family, or we have a village. So it's always daddy this, daddy dad, mommy this. So our kids are quite connected. Mm-hmm. When my son was born, which is my sister's son, when a man will hold him, he will scream. Not even his father. And I was out of state. And I heard that she gave birth. I said, okay, I'll be there. He was like, you wasting your time. You can come see him, but you cannot hold him. That's odd. I said, I can see him, but I can't hold him. They say, as soon as a man touches him, automatically cries. I love challenges. I went to Jersey. He was sleeping, and my sister was begging me, please let him sleep. I said, okay, I'll let him sleep. Now, you know, when the eyes go that way and that way, it's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wake him up. So I went into the room. This little boy looks so like, just so adorable. And I'm just staring at him. And my mind is like, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. I have to. I picked him up and he opened his eyes. He looked at me and he's like, we just connected. No screaming. And they had to take a picture. That little boy stared at me for close to 3 minutes. Like, who are you? And why are you waking me up? Why are you disturbing me?
But no food? Tears.
No tears, no nothing. And every time I would go out of state, he would call. When I'm in Jersey, my sister worked for the United Nations. So they have the option of, you know, a vehicle picking them up in the morning, taking them to school, pick them from school. But I committed 3 days out of the week. I would take them to school and I would pick them up and I would spend time with them till his mom gets home.
Wow.
It don't matter where I'm at. That was my commitment to him. And even those 2 days I'm away, he'll call me, hey, Pops, what you doing, Pops? So we had this, and also thing was, I went to Jersey from DC because I was in school. I drove to Jersey, I was extremely tired. And I was going to Boston, but I stopped in Jersey. Let me rest, and in the morning I'll continue. He just happened that he was sitting there waiting for me. He's like, hey, Pops, I've been waiting for you. I'm like, okay, let me just get some rest. He was like, don't worry, I'm going to drive you. I know you're tired. I'm like, no, you're not driving me, Alpha.
How old was he?
He was just turning 18. So he had his license. Provision. So he's like, I'm going to drive you. I was like, Alpha, no. In the morning, Karen, I woke up early to sneak out the house because I know he will follow me. For some reason, this little boy took the car key, opened the car, came back in the house, put the keys for me nice and easy, and went back in the car and slept in the back seat.
Oh my gosh.
So when I woke up, I see the keys. I'm like, oh, I got them. I'm getting ready to go out. As soon as I open the car, he's like, oh, what time is it?
My gosh.
So it's like I had that relationship with him where he would just call out the blue. Now, as a motivational speaker here in the UK, I was about to go onto the stage to tell the world it's a beautiful world. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. You know, this world is a stage, play your part. And when my manager comes to me and says, you need to pick this phone call. You have a phone call. I said, man, you know, I have all this energy running through me. I'll be back when I get off stage. And I had this young lady behind me, micing me up so I can get ready to go. So he stood there again and looked at me and said, you need to pick this phone call. The tone of his voice, the tremble of his voice, looked at him. That's when I picked up. When I picked up, I heard he's dead. Who's dead? Your son, Alpha. Karen, how do you go on stage to tell these people it's a beautiful world when you're dying? How do you go on stage to tell these people they can do anything they want to, you know, when you want to literally use your fingers to dig a hole in the ground and hide? The pain that I suffered, I don't want no other family member, no other family or no loved ones or no friends to feel that. That is why we created Kamara Youths. So we support them from a psychological aspect for them to reflect on their actions as to if you kill somebody, you know, this is the repercussion. If, you know, you go to jail, think about your mom that carried you for those 9 months. Think about the trauma. So we let them go through that process. And we took it to another level now where I have 10. I told you I love the number 10.
Yes.
I have 10 powerful speakers at the end of every month that we do an event. We stream it via Zoom, we stream it via TV, and now we do it on radio as well. So the event is on the last Saturday of every month. So we stream it out, and it's on social media platform as well, where we support organizations, charities, and businesses, and individuals that are making an impact in the lives of our youths. And April 24th, we give awards to 10 organizations, you know, businesses and charities that are making the impact in the youths. So now this month, August 28th, I'm bringing all my speakers, Karen, all my speakers on one stage as a reunion, because we started doing this since February. So it's a 6 months reunion.
Wow.
So I just want to welcome everyone. If you go to Eventbrite, it's called Saving Our Next Generation.
Saving Our Next Generation.
Also want to take, yes. And also I wanted to take it up another notch. I wanted to do something in 2022 where the parents get involved. If your child creates an impact, a positive impact in their community or in the youths, your family gets a ticket, a holiday for 7 days anywhere in the world.
Oh my gosh, Unisa.
Karen, I don't know when my journey is going to come to an end. You understand? I know I'm here now, and I'm going to do what I can do to create a ripple effect. So one day somebody will say, this is what he stood for. We can continue that. We can not even do what he did, but we can do something as such. That is what I'm about.
Wow, thank you. This is amazing. I love how you ended it with, you know what? I think all of us can be a part of the ripple effect. tiny, tiny steps towards guiding our children. Even if you don't have children, don't you think? Everyone who encounters a child, and I just realized what you just said, someone that you see walking home from school who looks sad and you just make eye contact, that smile, that one interaction can lift someone's spirits, can give them hope on a day where they just feel, that everything, right? Everything is crappy. I don't want to go, just that smallest acknowledgement. Oh, I am so thankful to Lexi for connecting us. And this was one of the best, I've done about 70 interviews, and this one though, you really, anyone who watches this, I think it helps us be inspired to do something, to make a difference instead of, the hamster wheel thing. I think we've all been there. But I think, unfortunately, something tragic sometimes happens that propels us to take action to make a difference because of the pain, that we suffer, the pain that you suffered. I mean, losing your son, losing your girlfriend, witnessing, like, oh my gosh, the story that you just told about the most recent death of the boy who...
Well, he's still hanging in there. Still hanging in
yes,
there.
Yes. Sorry. So, prayers and knowing that, I mean, there's always hope.
There's hope, definitely. And it starts with us. And also, let me just say thank you so much for having me here. And I just want to put it out there. We can make a change. It starts with us. We cannot depend on the government all the time to support our youths. It can take one person to start a movement, one person to make a change. It takes one person. So if you're out there, wherever you are, our kids are screaming for us to be for them to be acknowledged. Our kids are staring at us so we can see them for the vulnerability that they are. All they want is for someone to reach out to them. Reach out to a youth. That youth that you save today might be the youth to save your grandchild or even you. Let's stop labeling our children and acknowledge them as youths, as children, as confused or vulnerability at its best. Because I definitely know, Karen, I was quite troublesome.
Why is that not shocking? But you know what? A dollar bet changed your world and our world. I'm so glad you took that dollar bet, and boy, you proved. A lot of entrepreneurs think that you need money to make money, and that's what stops them. So you are living proof. You just needed your imagination. You needed a dream, and you put it in there. And it's almost like you gave, I always tell my students, you give your brain instructions, right? Whether you say, oh, my brain doesn't work right. Oh, I had a 5-year-old, I have a bad memory. And so it's like we train our brain to remember, to think positive, to even do its thing, but we have to plant seeds, right? They always say, if you water the weeds will grow. But if we have to water the flowers, the positivity, and you are living proof. Thank you so much, Unisa. This was amazing. Sorry about the time zone. Yeah, with the UK and Australia and everything, and Hawaii doesn't change. We do not have time zones. So whenever we talk to anyone outside of our little state, we have to remember East Coast and now GMT. And then I didn't realize Australia has several time zones, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was used to talking to one person in Australia. And then when I did the time zone thing, I'm like, wait a minute. They said it depends on which part of Australia. That's confusing. Wow. I guess because of the
America is like that as well. Because if you're in the East Coast, West Coast, Texas.
Yeah. And then we have that central time zone. I have a call with someone if you're in Illinois, then it says 5 hours. But if you're in New York, it's 6 hours. If you're in California, it's 3 hours. And then Canada, I totally forgot. I thought, 3 hours. But if you're on the New York side of Canada, it's 6 hours. a
What a
great
world,
math
right?
problem. What a world. And what, yeah. And see, that shows you that you need math just to figure out money. But now I just realized if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend in a different time zone, you better know what time to call.
Go ahead, Chicha, bring up the mad topic. I
Thank
love
you
this. I
so much.
love it.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you
your
for having
time.
me.
I know you're really, really busy. So this means the world to me. And I'm sure we'll see a lot more. I will promote this amazing workshop that you have on what, but you said
28.
the 28th, right? I saw that. Oh, please tell people how they can find you. Your Instagram name is?
Unisa Kamara, or go to www.unisakamara.com. Go to kamarayouth.com. Karen, everything is Kamara.
Kamara.
I love the name. On Facebook, Unisa Kamara, it's just Unisa Kamara. And if you feel as though you need support, wherever you are, I have a website, unisakamara.com. I have a toll-free number you can call. Someone is there just to listen to you. You don't have to give your name, just talk. And the funny thing, Karen, before we go, I wanted to be on TV. And I pondered on it. How can I be on TV? Who's going to want this face on their television?
Well, you're in a movie. Before we end, how in the world did this movie happen?
Oh, because I was hopping from TV. We built Amaze TV, then we went to A&B TV. I said, now I want to be in the movies. Who's going to put this face on a movie? So we got with Fox Star Film Productions, and we created this movie. It starts out in London. It goes to Barbados and back in London. It's quite a very active movie, but yeah, I love it. I love it.
How do we watch it?
I don't
Is it
have time
available?
to do another movie. Sorry.
How do we watch it? Is it available now?
Yeah, no, it's on Netflix.
What?
But yeah, I will not tell you the name because it's not a good movie. I'm a bad guy.
It's okay. You're in it. That shows that you're a good actor.
That's true. But yeah, I don't know spoil it for you, but yeah, it's on Netflix and we're striving, Karen. Nothing's going to be given unto us. If you want something, you have to go out and get it. If you think by you just sitting in your house, if opportunity come knocking, it's going to knock real quiet. Opportunity is not going to bang on your door. You understand? You have to seek what you want. And me, I'm striving every day, Karen. And I think we should do something as well, little maybe on one of my shows, and we can expand on your teaching strategies, methods, how we can empower our youths, because I'm so everything I do has to be on my youths.
Wow, I would love the opportunity.
I would not want my children to watch it.
You know what my business is? Brain builders. So I tell kids I literally build brains. I had this dream in 1999 and it was like this little seeds and it was 2 a.m. and the seeds were across the rainbow and a tree grew. And I said, I'm going to start brain builders. And so many people told me, don't do it. You're not going to make money as a tutor. It's really hard. And then one person said, you know what? I'll give you students with a referral fee. And now it's been 22 years. So when the economy was at its worst, I did well because parents, if your kids are having a bad grade or they're failing, you invest in a tutor. So now I'm trying to do the parent coaching route and really like you, inspire parents. Because if we inspire parents, children will receive the benefits of just parents who are more encouraging than, listen more instead of lecture. Like what I just totally.
Overwhelmed. A lot of parents are overwhelmed.
Yes, overwhelmed. And like you said, there is no book. There is no manual. So I just published a book. I don't know if you've heard. It's 100 parenting tips inspired by the pandemic. I'll just plug it. And it started off with little videos. Today's parenting tip number 1, today's parenting number 2. And then I was just going to do it for 2 weeks. And I did 100 of them. So I think I have
Done.
Thank you. I have, I mean, you are inspiring me, because I was recently thinking, can I track coaching clients? Parents don't really see the need of it. And then you just made me realize I have to just keep going, and they will eventually, like, no, I don't need that. No. I need to, invest in tutoring. But like you said, if you are given the journey, and I believe we are all given a journey, but I love that opportunity knocks very, very, very lightly. But oh my gosh, Netflix and radio, and all from $1 bet.
Actually, that's my second one on Netflix.
That is amazing.
We're striving. That's how I'm getting the money to support my youths. So tell us, so if you and I do a show,
yes.
So do you do your tutoring online? How can people contact you as well?
Actually, I do mine virtually. But if you're in my neighborhood, I go to this one grandma's house, and I tutor 5 kids over a couple of days. I just recently told you I went to a park for a 5-year-old. But I do virtual.
Who's turning 5?
Yeah, turning 5 in September. Wants udders so he can be a cow. But yeah, virtually, you know what I'm realizing? Virtual works. I was very hesitant. But when it's one-on-one and you're not one of 20 squares, it works. I have them draw, I have them listen to music, I have them have fun, but we have to learn too. But really engaging in the child's learning style. That's the problem. If you have a kinesthetic learner, they're not going to want to sit there in class and listen. They just shut down, and what you say will not even sink in. So you have to make it fun. But in the classroom, teachers only have so many resources. You're in the class, in front of the classroom, and you have to teach all 25 students the same way. You can't, unless you incorporate, right? So that's my whole thing. I mean, I do it in person, but recently the virtual world is growing.
The world
now,
is. Thank you.
Now I can tutor someone in London. I can tutor someone, as long as it's not 3 a.m. I've woken up at 5 a.m. to do, right, meetings in the East Coast or people around the world. But I think, you and I would be honored to have the opportunity because my whole mission is to make an impact on children's brains. Like you said, if we impact a child's brain, our future as adults, like you said, I love what you said. If we do not prepare kids for the future, who is going to be after our generation ends? What are we empowering them? And that's what you're doing, right? You are preparing kids for the future.
Do you have a website?
I do. I have 2. KarenTheBrainBuilder.com is my tutoring, my brain building site. And then Letting Go with Aloha, I can, I'll message it to you. Yeah, Letting Go with Aloha, which is my YouTube channel, my website, my Instagram name. I am doing, get this, ready? 100 TikTok parenting videos. I just did number 83. So I only have 17 more to go. I just start these things. Your number is 10. I don't know, maybe my number is 100, but I don't want to do 100 of everything. but now it's like, it becomes a chore sometimes, right? Okay, this is parenting tip number 70. This is parenting tip number as my dogs bark.
It becomes a passion.
It is a passion. So part of me is feeling sad. I only have 17 more. And I thought, you know what? I think this interview is meant to be, because you are an amazing inspiration. I mean, I think if every youth could even hear you, I'm having a global summit. I just realized it right now. I have 10 speakers, but can you imagine? Oh my gosh, if you're not doing anything on Saturday, September 18th, that's my birthday, but I'm doing a global summit. I have speakers from Canada, UK, Israel, and they're giving me like a 10-minute, like a video.
Okay.
And then if they're able to, it's like a 10-minute Q&A, but oh my gosh, you are so empowering. I would be honored to have you do like a 10-minute, welcome to this parenting summit. It's my first one. We called it the Global Pandemic Parenting Summit, but now people are saying that pandemic has not a very, optimistic and it's overused. So we are doing, it's like the forever changing, because we are adapting to change, right? So it's the forever changing new normal, because we're going to have a new normal tomorrow, like you said, every day. And we're not promised tomorrow, but if we can help parents and just have them have a little something. So I have 10 speakers, but oh my gosh, think about it. I would love for you to be like the opening speaker. And it could just be a 10-minute video where you are just doing what you do best. Say these like, you have a way of just saying something very simple, like when you said, and I was jotting notes about the essence of communication and just, you know, having your thoughts. I wish I could just have you in a little, like a little egg. And whenever someone feels like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I've been wanting to quit several times since I started. This parent coaching journey is new for me, only shortly before the pandemic. And I've been wanting to quit so many times. If I have an argument with my daughter who's making me think, do I even know how to parent? Or, you know, certain things happen and your hope bubble is burst. I call it a peace bubble, but then I just realized my hope bubble is sometimes not only burst, it just explodes. And then you think, can I do this? But listening to you, very powerful. Unisa, you have it.
Thank you so much. And please send me the information about your summit. And also we'll talk about you being on the mindful session. I love your energy. Normally I don't sit this long.
Yeah, I was like, this is supposed to be a 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was looking at my time and I thought, so sorry. We started like over an hour and 20 minutes ago, but thank you.
But I'm loving this, and I know I'm going to have fun with you as well when we come to the mindful session. So
I'm ready. I love the mind. I am so into the brain. That is my passion. And I finally met someone who shares an equal passion about the brain, the youth. We share similar journeys. I want a Netflix now.
I'll send you some links. She'll be like, wait, but he's such a nice guy. But over there, he's a bad guy. But,
I love it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna Google it right now and watch it. Take care, Unisa. Thank you so much, and we'll connect later.
Talking to you, and I'll send you some links as well, and I'll send you some dates to see when you're available, and we'll try to plan something.
Definitely, right. I look forward to it. Thank you. Take care.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.